Hello there, thank you for joining us on TVC News Hour. I am Azeezat Olaoluwa. The top stories. Senate approves $5.5 billion loan request by the executive. Attorney General of the Federation appears before senators in closed-door meeting to answer questions about recalled pension boss Abdulrasheed Maina. Iran declares day of mourning for the more than 400 people killed in earthquake. And in sports, Super Eagles get ready for tonight's friendly against Argentina. And we begin the news this hour with a story that the Senate has approved the $5.5 billion loan requested by President Muhammadu Buhari. $2.5 billion is to be used to part finance the 2017 budget, and $3 billion will be used to refinance domestic debts. Where the loan was approved after the Senate's Committee on Local and Foreign Debts said it was in line with the borrowing plan of the 2017 Appropriation Act. And after the approval, presiding Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu promised that the Senate would properly oversee all projects the loan is meant to fund. Attorney General of the Federation Abubakar Malami met with a Senate committee investigating pension boss Abdulrasheed Maina's recall. The meeting was held in private and not in public, as earlier requested by Malami. Malami did not object when Senator Emmanuel Polka insisted the meeting would be behind closed door. He did not speak to journalists when he came out, but will meet with the senators again on Thursday for the continuation of the investigation. Senators are probing Malami's decision to facilitate Maina's return to Nigeria and his reinstatement into the civil service. And the Senate says it can now allow Senator Ali Ndume to resume sitting after 8 months away. After a closed-door meeting, the Senate announced that Ndume has served his 6-month suspension and will be allowed back on Wednesday. Senator Ndume was suspended in March after he was indicted for raising an alarm over the integrity of some senators, including Senate President Bukola Saraki. The suspension was extended in September to November. Senator Ekweremadu, who presided over today's plenary, said the Senate's decision is without prejudice to any ongoing court proceedings. An early morning fire has destroyed about 20 shops in Akure, Ondo State capital. Many shop owners say it was caused by electric surge, and eyewitnesses say firefighters did not come on time. Some of the victims are counting their losses, urging the state government to come to their aid.
There's no light by that time. I don't know the thing will happen to us for here. Just to help, now help we need now, because we are borrowing money, like Lapo, like SIP. Yesterday, one neighbor now come help me carry market, come for me with a BSF. Since we are there here, just only pure water, and I am selling. But yesterday in the night, they bring market, come here, plenty warm. All that market has burned.
It was this morning I received a call that a shop got burned. So getting here, I see everything has burned off. We need assistance from government. Any assistance they can render for us to be back again and to recover what we've lost.
We all came here this morning and find out that all shops here got burned. Every one of us was somehow surprised how could such thing happen to these shops. And I meet people crying, shouting. So for me, I just plead that the government should come for their help.
The main gate to the Imo State Government House has been barricaded by aggrieved traders who were relocated after the demolition of Owerri Main Market. The traders carried placards and accused government of selectively allowing some persons back to the site of the demolished market.
Since Owerri relocated us to that place, we are very, very happy. That place is conducive for every business. But the problem is that most of the people that went there with us has located back to where we were put from. You understand? Due to there's no market there. And there's no market will go with them here and we there. No way. We have to stay in that place or we'll come back here. That is just it. If our governor want to do it, let him pursue those people out of that place, back to where we are, so that people, so that people that are coming to buy market will come to that place and buy market, not coming here to buy while we are there suffering.
We are aware that some of the traders relocated to Naze Market has returned back to the places where they were removed from. As the Deputy Chief of Staff to the Governor on Operations, I want to assure you that the Naze Market has come to stay. It has come to stand. Nobody will change it as long as you continue to do your business without any interference.
Iyola Oyedepo has emerged the new chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Kwara State. He defeated his closest rival, Sunday Fagbemi, with just 3 votes. The Congress, which ran from Monday to Tuesday, also saw the emergence of executive members of the party from the 2 factions of the PDP. The first litmus test for the party is this Saturday's local government election.
I'm sure PDP has a brighter future. There's no doubt about it. You can see from what has happened today. We are very cooperative. We are working together as a unit. And with that, I'm sure the sky is our limit.
So far, so good. It's been tough. But I think God on our side, with the support of the people, the leaders of PDP in Kwara State, we have been able to come thus far.
The people of Anambra State are preparing to head to the poll on November the 18th to elect a new governor. TVC News senior political correspondent Ayodele Ozungbako is standing by to give us more updates on the election. Hello, Ayo. What can you tell us about the level of preparedness by INEC?
Yes, right now the Independent National Electoral Commission, they're in a stakeholders right now in the stakeholder summit with all the political parties. That is 37 political parties that are going to be participating in Saturday's election. If you check out the I-table there, you find the Inspector General of Police is seated. He came just an hour ago. We have the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission himself is on ground, and the DIG operations that is going to be the supervisor of this election, according to the Inspector General of Police. What the Inspector General of Police told us earlier today is that we are going to have the DIG as the supervisor of this election, and we are going to have 26,000, no longer 21,000, 26,000 policemen, 15 gunboats to be patrolling the 21 local government, and 3 helicopters to take over security all around the 3 senatorial districts. And we have Commissioner of Police deployed from neighboring states that will man each senatorial district. We have 3 senatorial districts here, and we have a lot of changes. The DPOs are going to be changed. Now, what happened like 2 hours ago is that the sitting governor, that is Governor Willie Obiano, he came here. He alleged that his security details have been withdrawn by the Inspector General of Police, and the Inspector General of Police is about addressing this issue now. He's saying less than 4 days to the election, and the aid of the Chief Executive Officer of the state, that is Willie Obiano, has been withdrawn. His ADC and some other security complements. That really got a lot of people worried here, and a lot of the stakeholders were asking questions that how free and fair this election is going to be.
And indeed, talking about security and the need for the election to hold, what is the mood like in Anambra, putting in mind the threat by IPOB?
A lot of the threat by the iPod, the Onitsha area of this states, they have a large presence of this members of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra there, and these people are telling their members not to come out, not to vote. We have over 2.1 million registered voters for this particular election. The outcome of next Saturday, the numerical strength of the people that will come out on Saturday will determine how potent this threat is. But what the politicians are doing, they are going across the nook and crannies of the states now to canvass for votes. They have from now till Thursday midnight to do that, and they are doing that rigorously. Most of the politicians, they came here earlier, and most of them, they've been leaving because of their tight campaign schedule. They still have to get to areas to campaign, different areas to campaign, and some of them are still seated. The governor just left sometime, but the candidates of the All Progressive Congress did not even come at all. 26,000 policemen, with other paramilitary, other security agencies are going to participate in this exercise.
Ayodele Ozugbako, our senior political correspondent, thank you for your updates at this time in the build-up to the Anambra governorship election to hold this Saturday. You just told us about 26,000 police officers will be deployed, and President Muhammadu Buhari is expected in that state tomorrow for the All Progressives Congress campaign. Still to come on TV's News Hour. Endocrinologists call on government to exempt import duties on drugs for the management of diabetes. A medical expert will join me right after this break for a discussion about diabetes. Stay tuned for more. Glad to have you back. Now, it's World Diabetes Day, and endocrinologists are calling on the Nigerian government to exempt import tariff on insulin and other drugs for the management of the diabetes. But they say it will allow more patients to have access to affordable care for the chronic disease. Vivian Irikefe has more.
For more than 20 years, Sam has been taking insulin medication. It's a hormone that regulates blood sugar. Sam will depend on the insulin for the rest of his life because he is diabetic. Sadly, not everyone who needs the treatment can afford it.
When the frequent urination started, I just walked to the doctor's clinic and they checked and they said, yeah, I was diabetic, and since then I've been controlling it. I'm actually on insulin and some other oral medication. The main challenge for Nigerians living with diabetes is the fact that they cannot control the condition because the drugs are expensive and the test kits, you have to, for you to be able to control diabetes, you should check your blood sugar on a daily basis. Many cannot do that because the strips are quite expensive.
The cost is quite enormous. Most patients in Nigeria pay out of pocket because we don't have strong health insurance. And how do you expect the economy to grow if the population that are meant to grow the economy are down with this disease?
Restrictive diet has always been an issue in the management of diabetes, but this endocrinologist says it's irrelevant.
There is no special food for diabetic patients. The diabetic patient is managed with the food that is present locally and culturally acceptable to the patient. What is important is the quantity of what the patient takes, not the food itself. It is not caused by the food you eat. It is the problem with insulin and insulin not working well.
The chronic disease is more troubling for women of reproductive age, especially where there is lack of affordable access to care.
A lot of women out there have diabetes they don't even know, and most of them are pregnant and they have diabetes and they don't have access to care. And what do you want at the end of a pregnancy? You want a live mother and a live baby, and that is why attention is on them so that we can actually look out for these people and make sure that they have access to care so that they can be healthy.
Adults with diabetes are predisposed to heart attack and stroke. The signs and symptoms include frequent urination, unexpected weight loss, and poor vision. Vivian Irikefe, TVC News.
Well, this year's theme is Women and Diabetes. There are currently more than 199 million women living with the disease, and this total is projected to increase to 330 million by 2040. Consultant endocrinologist Dr. Afoke Siawe is in the studio with me to talk more on this. Thank you for joining us at this time. We understand that women in reproductive age are more at risk of contracting diabetes. Why is that?
First of all, the placenta hormone, the hormones produced by the placenta lead to insulin resistance. And so you have a number of women coming down with what we call gestational diabetes, which is diabetes that is first of all diagnosed during pregnancy. And as you can see, the theme for this year's World Diabetes activity is Women and Diabetes, Our Right to a Healthy Future. Statistics show that majority of the women with diabetes in pregnancy are under 30 years old. And we are advocating screening, having access to screening for gestational diabetes, having access to screening for women who are at risk, and then preventing the complications from coming in. And you know, when you target the women, once they are empowered and educated, you are protecting the future generation. They take care of the children. You have a healthy pregnancy outcome, and then they're able to take care of the family better. They teach the children, and things are improving.
Then how easy is it for women to have easy access to healthcare, especially those battling diabetes?
That's the problem. It's not so easy. Like Onome said during her documentary, the cost of the medications are expensive. And even before we get to medication, how many women who are pregnant and who have diabetes are being detected? Many hospitals are still not screening pregnant women for diabetes. This shouldn't be the case. Screening should be affordable and accessible to every pregnant woman living with diabetes.
In that report as well, an endocrinologist said that it's not about what a patient eats, it's about the insulin not working right.
Okay, let me just, there are two types of, there are three main types of diabetes. You have the type 1 diabetes, in which the body doesn't produce insulin at all, and those individuals are dependent on insulin. They need insulin to survive. And then you have type 2 diabetes, in which the body does produce insulin, but there's some form of resistance to the body's working of insulin. And then you have gestational diabetes, which is diabetes that is first diagnosed during pregnancy. So in all, you need insulin at various stages of care for the three groups of persons living with diabetes.
And as the world is commemorating the day, what should be the focus generally?
The focus should be preventing diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes. Most of the people with diabetes in Nigeria and worldwide have type 2 diabetes. The key is prevention. It's alarming that we're having children coming down with type 2 diabetes today, and it's all because of our lifestyle. People don't exercise, people are gaining weight, and people have a family history of diabetes, and people are coming down. And you see people getting blind and having amputations and all that. So prevention is the key. Exercise regularly, eat healthy, and keep a healthy weight.
And the symptoms again, could you tell
us?
The
main symptoms: frequent urination, weight loss, excessive thirst. But having said that, over half of the people with diabetes do not have symptoms. Yeah, they're picked up when they go for cataract surgery, or they have a sore that doesn't heal. And that's why during this period we advocate screening, especially if you're at risk for type 2 diabetes. If you have a family history, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, a grandparent, or if you're over 40 years old, or if you're overweight, you should be screening for diabetes regularly.
All right, thank you very much for the analysis, and of course the need for people to take their health seriously. Dr. Afoke Siawe, you're an endocrinologist. Thank you for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
All right, still to come on TV's News Hour. A day of mourning for victims of the powerful earthquake in Iran. We have details and more in a moment. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos has challenged Folashade Adesoye to hit the ground running and work to bring out the best in the civil service as she becomes the state's 20th head of service. At the swearing-in ceremony, Governor Ambode said concerted efforts have been made to place the state civil service on a sound footing. He challenged the new head of service to use her office to galvanize civil servants in order to build on the gains already recorded.
As the head of service, all eyes are on you to provide leadership and direction to the over 100,000 civil public servants in this state. You hold a strategic position to bring out the best in everyone.
Outside Nigeria, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has promised that the government would do all it could to help those who have suffered in the region hit by a powerful earthquake. President Rouhani revealed this when he visited the mountainous area of Kermanshah province that borders Iraq. He also proclaimed today a day of mourning for the dead. Sunday's 7.3 magnitude earthquake killed at least 450 people and injured thousands. At least 14 provinces in Iran were affected, and many survivors are in need of food, water, and they are also battling cold.
I did not wish for my visit to come at a time when our people will be experiencing a tragedy and suffering a disaster. I am hopeful that I will return during happier and more prosperous days to serve our dear and courageous people who have been an asset to our dear country. I wish to assure all those that have suffered that government will use all its power to resolve the problems in the shortest time.
British Prime Minister Theresa May says her government would maintain its commitment to protecting Europe after Brexit. In a speech at the Guildhall in London's financial district, May also accused Russia of military aggression and meddling in elections. The Prime Minister said Britain would continue to provide assistance to states that were victims of this aggression.
For we meet here at a moment when the international order as we know it, the rules-based system that the United Kingdom helped to pioneer in the aftermath of the Second World War, is in danger of being eroded. A moment when some states are actively destabilizing the world order to their own ends, claiming that the rules and standards we have built and the values on which they rest no longer apply. The role of the United States in shaping the global order is as vital now as it has ever been. Of course, we will not always agree on each and every course of action, but underpinning this relationship is an alliance of values and interests between our peoples, which has been a force for good in the world for generations and must continue to be so.
And on that sporting note, we wrap it up on TVC News Hour. Thank you for watching, but remember, updates are available on our website. It is tvcnews.tv. You can, of course, start a conversation or follow news stories on all our social media platforms. The handle is at TVC News NG. Thank you for watching. I am Azeezat Olaoluwa. Bye for now.